This is a presentation of DirecTV, exclusive home of the Red Zone channel, the Fantasy Zone, the Dan Patrick Show, 20 years of NFL Sunday Ticket, the Rich Eisen Show, and America's premier source for sports television.
Are you looking for a little play calling tonight? Perfect. Call Coach Speak, where hundreds of local coaches are connecting right now. Record an ad, describe yourself, and what you're into. What's the best way to make use of my tight end? I guess that's why they call it football. New callers receive a complimentary free trial. So what are you waiting for? Call now and get into the action. Don't miss out. Find out who can help you on 3rd and Long. Right here on Coach Speak.
Try it free. The Buck Score starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for Box Score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes as I am every weekday from Milford, Connecticut. Guys, a lot of talk about quarterbacks as Russell Wilson worked his magic on Monday Night Football last night. McLovin, you say you have a formula to stop Russell Wilson. What is it, pray tell?
Oh, well, it's simple. You have a linebacker spy, and you make sure your defensive ends, when they rush, they don't over-pursue. So they have to stay in their lanes. There's a tendency for them to bow out. I have no idea. I was just making a sort of regurgitating things I've vaguely heard on sports talk radio. But the guy is going to run on 3rd down. He's going to run on 3rd down. I'm screaming at my TV last night. He's going to run. And then the Redskins guys just ran right past him and he ran down the field.
Horrible. Well, another quarterback that made an impression was Mississippi State's Dak Prescott, and he talked potential game day guests with the boss.
Why don't you get Lady Gaga to show up, Dak?
Oh, man. Well, if they can pull that off, I think everybody would like that. That'd be something.
What about Rihanna? Rihanna, maybe you get her to show up.
Yeah, maybe. Then I'll try to sneak my way over there if she comes.
Oh, really? I like that. Would you rather meet her or beat Auburn?
Oh, I'd rather beat Auburn,
All
of
right.
course.
That's of course.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I can see her after the game.
There you go, after the win.
Yeah, Dak, great debut for Dak. We were looking forward to getting him on after the big victory. But yeah, I appreciate he was very respectful of Dan, and he looked like just a nice kid that didn't want to say anything that was too controversial. And I could totally see him hanging out to give him the opportunity as soon as the game was over with Rihanna. But he had all the right answers and knew that the top priority obviously is taking care of Auburn, and there's plenty of time to go running after Lady Gaga, Rihanna, or whatever female celebs may be hanging around on campus. But
you know what I find funny? Sometimes we fall in love with an athlete because of the way he behaves on our show. I'm going to go, and we think that maybe he's going to be better or root for him because of that. We had E.J. Manuel on from Florida State right, about a month before the draft. He was so nice to Dan, polite, well thought out, interesting, classy, all those words. And we all said, this guy, because of that, we thought he was going to be successful. Like, he's got a good head on his shoulders. And it's one of those things, like, I don't know if Dak Prescott is going to be good or not. He may never play it down in the NFL. But I think, man, he's got his act together. Or he's just pretending to have his act together. And you never know. You get kind of cynical.
Prescott, definitely a gentleman. He was dropping sirs all over that interview. See, why don't you play Vegas for us and give us the over-under on how many times he said sir during the interview?
Oh, man. Dan had put it at about 20. I'm going to go a little lower and say about 12.5.
All right, Paulie, what do you have? Over, under?
I had 18. I would say definitely over 12.5. I'm not sure because he had like 3 towards the end of the interview, and you might have just missed those, Seton. He worked in 3 yes sirs, yes sirs.
Rapid fire, yes sirs.
Yeah, and they
Yes,
kind
sir,
of
yes, sir,
blended
yes, sir.
together. I'm going to go 18.
How about
I have to go over 2. I thought it was close to 20. And then he even said, he was saying sir to me on the phone before and after the interview. No, those don't count, but he was just so super respectful. It It was nice.
Are you kidding me? There were more sirs than when you have Paul McCartney over at a brunch at a...
All right.
I was working on something with the... There are a lot of sirs. 14.
Okay, well, let's go to the videotape and sort this all out.
Did you meet Tebow? He was there this past weekend, wasn't he?
Yeah, yes, sir. I got the chance to meet him. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, we took a couple of pictures, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, I have great expectations for myself. No, sir. I mean, just going back to... no, not yet. No, sir. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. I think so, too.
You grew up a Saints fan?
Oh, no, sir. Dallas Cowboys all the way.
Hey,
yeah, yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Whoa.
Boom! Look at that, huh?
Wow.
Nailed it. Okay, so I'll give you my theory on this. How many questions could we really ask him in that time period? And then how many surge could he really put into an answer? I'm like, well, all right, we probably got, say, somewhere between 6 and 8 questions in. That means there's 6 to 8 answers. There's no, and then there's probably, you know, maybe he doubled up on a sir here and there. I really thought this out. I spent a lot of time.
I'd like to file a protest. The over-under is 12.5, and I'm almost sure, and the I-team's going to get on this, I think there was a double sir with the last question answer, and we're going to look into that because that would put it at 13. And you know, with a bet, you gotta get everything you can.
Line was right on though.
Yeah,
right on.
Way to set it.
Spot on. Dak Prescott got you guys talking about great quarterback names. Oh, and Paulie, how in the world did you find Willie Thrower?
I had read a story about African-American quarterbacks in the NFL, and someone mistakenly said that, I can't remember what the player's name was. I think Harris, who played for the Chargers, or someone was the first African-American quarterback. And there was a player on the Bears named Willie Thrower back in the early 50s. I think he only played a couple games, only had a few passing attempts, but he was technically the first African-American quarterback. And it's this useless information that's stuck in my head, and I looked it up to confirm it. It was true.
Useless information. Elvis Grbac, a quarterback for the Chiefs, and coincidentally, after they traded for him, I think the Chiefs' season died on the toilet. Well, we can't talk great quarterback names without talking great defensive back names. Seton, who would you have for a great defensive back name or defensive name?
Oh dear. I don't know. I don't remember who I had.
Wanna pass?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on great defensive backs and come back to me.
I'll go while Seton thinks about it. I'm gonna go a double, the Stonebreaker family.
Oh, dude!
I had to grab it. Played at Notre Dame, Michael Stonebreaker. Dad was Steve Stonebreaker. You know, with that name, I don't know what else you could do for a living but play linebacker.
Unless it was Bonebreaker. That's like the only thing.
Ass kicker, Mike Ass Kicker. The other name that I like that I couldn't put in there, and he went to Illinois, he was a defensive end linebacker, Whitney Merciless. Merciless is as good of a last name you could have for a defensive player, and I think he's on the Houston Texans.
Yeah, he shows up.
Whitney Merciless. Yeah. It's like his parents said, whoa, we don't want to make him too much of a badass. Let's call him Whitney.
Because it was like Thor Merciless.
Thor Merciless, he's J.J. Watt would be second team All-Pro.
I jotted down Otis Sistrunk, Lyle Alzado, John Matuzak, Teddy Bruschi, I always thought was a great name, Butkus, Nitschke, Rulon Jones, Pat Angerer is also one of my favorites.
Rulon Jones is a tough name?
Rulon, I think that's there's not a lot of Rulons out there, and Deacon Jones, but Pat Angerer would be
that's nice.
one of my top ones.
Iowa legend.
I'm going to go with Carolina Panthers defensive back, I believe, Captain Munnerlyn, because this first name Captain is pretty awesome. I think I always sort of butcher his last name.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Of course, Stonebreaker was my 1A. I think that was so obvious. But, yeah. Captain Munnerlyn.
Okay, one name that has scared a lot of people back in the day was Fred the Hammer Williamson. Always hit people upside the head. He would never be able to play in today's game. Okay, well, we went to the Twitter machine. Yes.
Brock, quick question. Did you know that the NFL expanded 31 more teams in addition to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, mix up. It's K-State, Kansas basketball, and Kansas City Chiefs. Open your mind up.
We know Hank Stram won a Super Bowl, dude, but it's been a long time, okay?
Yeah, well, they were matriculating down the sidelines. That's all you need to know, young man. We took this question to the fans, to the Twitterverse, and here's what some of them said. Eddie Hernandez said Jack Youngblood. Marty said Barcavius Mingo. My man David also went old school with Bronco Nagurski, as did Joshua, who dropped Deacon Jones along with Fritzy. Fritzy, are any of those...
the flag on the guy who said Bronco Nagurski. He was a fullback.
Okay.
Did he play both ways?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fritzy, are any of those as scary as the White Rhino?
White Rhino is a good one, but that's more of a, that's a nickname instead of a regular name. I still like the I think Stonebreaker and Anger are among the top ones.
Fritzy,
right
what
now.
about the Spearmint Rhino? What do you think of that nickname?
The Spearmint Rhino? If you got your singles together, you can find some exciting stuff there. But they're usually pretty gentle.
Now, there's a place that I've heard of that haven't been Olympic Gardens, the second or third, right?
OG.
I know there's an Olympic Gardens in Vegas. That I was
yeah,
at a
but it's like
bachelor
OG
party.
2 or 3, but I've never heard of OG 1.
What kind of place is this?
I've never actually been. I think it's an adult entertainment center.
Yeah, the Olympic Garden. I don't know how many it goes up to, but how many Roman numerals there are. But there is one in Vegas where some
adult entertainment
some
center sounds like a video game place with a bar in it.
Yeah, Fritzy, you knew this place. Have you been there?
I went to a friend's bachelor party at the Mirage
yes?
Hotel, and then we moved over to the Olympic Garden one time, and actually a little embarrassing, but why be shy now? Ended up chatting up one of the ladies there who pretended to like me as long as the money kept flowing, and we ended up meeting for one of those like $2.99 buffet breakfast the next morning. I don't know what her real name is. What? Candy Bubbles, one of those. But
how much did you drop on that conversation? Do you think?
Way too much.
And so you met for breakfast.
Yeah, we exchanged. I don't know what her business card looked like exactly, but she ended up leaving me a voicemail at the hotel, and we met up for breakfast. That was a bizarre.
Have you guys ever heard this story? Because this is epically
Brock,
huge.
can we stay with this? How much do you think you dropped at the establishment talking to Candy?
Not as much as you think. It was probably something in the 150 ballpark or so. And
so wait, this is not the time that you went to lunch with an adult.
That was in Santa Monica. That was different. But she seemed really nice.
So what happened after breakfast? Did you guys?
No, we went our separate ways. I think she had some type of bodyguard person waiting by her car.
So she just wanted to have breakfast with you?
We spoke, and then there was no fooling around or anything like that. It was.
Thought she put a bodyguard with her?
There was someone waiting in the parking lot after.
As women should.
After I walked her out of the breakfast joint, and he was all.
I guess at the meetup.
Big guy.
Now, were you hoping that the breakfast would?
I wasn't sure. I don't know exactly what I was hoping. I just found it. I just thought it was exciting because she was really good looking, and she left. And then all of a sudden, I'm checking our hotel voicemail. Me and the guys, and I'm letting them all listen to this message. I'm like, I think that's that girl from last night. And then we had breakfast.
Oh my God! Of course you did. Oh, I don't remember the stripper's name, but she did have a cast on her right arm. That's all I remember. It was a Spearmint Rhino. Okay, coming up, we'll talk about you guys getting ready for a trip to New York, where I think there may be one strip club left. And also, there is a new T-shirt available on DadPatrick.com. We'll talk about that.
The Jeter, Heater over Jeter T-shirts are on the website.
Really?
Yes, inspired by Seton O'Connor, and it's got a cigarette there, Heater over Jeter.
Smoky number 2.
And the smoke is the number 2. I don't know if people buy them, then you got to explain it. Somebody's going to be like, wait, Heater over Jeter? What?
Oh, welcome back to the Box Score. The boss breaking the news that a new T-shirt is available on DanPatrick.com. Just got cut off there. Seton, why don't you explain to the good folks out in the Box Score universe what the Heater over Jeter is all about?
Yeah, unfortunately, my poor timing / into my cups maybe a little bit. When Derek Jeter got up for his last at-bat at Yankee Stadium, which turned out to be just this unbelievable, iconic moment, walk-off hit, I was outside smoking a cigarette and watching this really drunk woman stumble down the street with her friend and completely missed everything that happened. Like, exactly what I was waiting for. So then I want to say that it may have been John in California, actually, that started the Heater over Jeter movement. And now it's come to life in a T-shirt.
Moon landing over Marlboros.
LOL. That's a peculiar-looking cigarette there. Well, that happened last week while you guys were in New York. And McLovin has set the table for another classic moment with this invite.
If you're in the neighborhood, just come stop by our table. Dan loves that. He'll basically buy you a drink. Come, pull up a chair right next to Dan and talk to him. It's one of his favorite things in a New York City restaurant. So please come on down to downtown New York tomorrow. Thanks. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, this is a tough one, McLovin. You're a guy who's missed a couple dinners, and now you're inviting everyone to sit down and bend Dan's ear.
Well, obviously I was trying to be sarcastic, but even that was like, I don't think that was appropriate. I regret having said that.
To be fair, Dan does talk to a lot of the fans, and I mean, believe me, he's got a truckload of patience for people who kind of get on him. But we're lucky that people come up to us and say stuff like that. But I've seen situations before, like I've been in a sports bar with Dan, where there's a line of people. It's like a meet and greet. And at some point, he just has to look at, he's doing this to seat, I'm sure. He gives you a look and says, hey, I'm gonna hit the bathroom. And you know he's not going to the bathroom, he's going back to the hotel.
Yeah, but that's sort of my point. I mean, there's a lot of demand for Dan when he's out in public. That's, in the Village in New York, it's often different because there are a lot of celebrities who walk around fine, but Dan in the wrong place can really get bombarded.
I've seen a few celebrities on the street in New York, and I wish I could remember who it was. He was a pretty famous guy. It wasn't Robert Downey Jr., but it was like someone of his ilk. And a fan asked to take a picture. I was just standing there watching. I don't think it was Downey Jr., but the fan wanted to take a picture. He goes, all right, but let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. And so they're walking as they're taking like the quick selfie. And he just goes, sorry, if I stop, it's over. And I don't know if it was Robert Downey Jr. or like Edward Burns or someone more famous than Edward Burns. But they said, and that's how it is for Dan. Like if he kind of stops when we're in a sports atmosphere, you've been to games, when we walk into like a football game, if he stops, it's over. He has to keep walking.
Well, if you come up to a Danette on the street, and which happens occasionally, and let's take a picture, it's the opposite effect. We won't leave you alone. Like I'll follow a guy home if he takes a picture of me. So that's the other. You ought to be careful approaching a Danette. If you have a woman in tow and you approach
still
Fritzy,
talking to you.
Just cancel your appointments for the rest of the afternoon. Fritzy is not going to leave you alone.
Did you get to the game? Did you commute? Take the bus? MTA?
I start the interviewing process, and there's a lot of chatting going on. Next thing you know, it's like the next morning.
You're at a breakfast buffet.
You're at a breakfast buffet.
The bodyguard.
It comes full circle. See what I did there?
Let's take a break, guys. Coming up, the guys received a piece of Harry Carey memorabilia. We'll talk about that after these words. Hi, this is Harry Carey up here in heaven. If they ever send Barman up here after beating him to death, I'm going to beat him right back down to earth. You're watching The Box Score. Cubs win. Welcome back to The Box Score. Paulie, you guys received a piece of Harry Carey memorabilia today and Into the Man Cave. What was it?
It was this right here. I got this yesterday. This guy, Rod Strickler, he's a pretty funny guy on the Twitter. He sends me lots of notes from time to time. This is a cash check from Harry Carey to a Cadillac dealership for his monthly lease bill of a new Cadillac. And I felt kind of bad. I was like, oh. But then I thought, why would someone buy this? Because Rod bought this off the eBay. And I was like, that's kind of cool, I guess. I like memorabilia, sneaky memorabilia, and this is as sneaky as it gets.
McLovin, where in the man cave should you guys put that?
There's an area, I was thinking about this, where there's a letter from somebody about how we got them. What's the letter about the fine? Was it Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a letter about an NBA fine.
Oh, yeah,
I think
that was awesome.
That area of the bar is where the smaller stuff should be. To me, this side, you need to be big and bold, like the movie posters. So I think like the littler things go on Dan's side.
Well, fans of The Box Score know that Harry Carey shows up every once in a while. And today, during the morning meeting, a Harry Carey impersonator popped up his head. So how about for the second day in a row, we bring you one of these.
A Box Score exclusive!
You think before he bought that, he asked the guy, hey, how does it drive? Is that a bad Harry Carey? Then he always say, there's a drive.
I'm glad he's not
Still
here to
bad?
hear it.
Why is that Harry Carey?
I said I'm glad he's not here to hear that.
How's it drive?
Maybe if he said after he drove it, now there's a drive.
See, why do you got to do that? Well, you actually salvaged it, so I should thank you, as opposed to the topper thing works in my favor when you clean it up for me.
That doesn't sound anything like Harry Carey. That is all based on Todd's one phone call with Harry Carey, where Harry Carey goes, "Are you the guy?" And then he does that.
the guy?
So it doesn't sound anything like Harry Carey. It does sound like every Todd Fritz imitation of Harry Carey.
What happened when you talked to him on the phone, Todd?
Oh, he was supposed to be on a radio show in L.A. many years ago, and he says, call me back in an hour. I'm having breakfast. So I call him back, and exactly an hour later, he's like, hello, and I'm like, hey, Mr. Carey, it's Todd Fritz with the radio station I was working at, and I'm like, thanks for taking the time. You told me to call you back in an hour. Are you the guy that was supposed to call me in an hour? I'm like, yeah, what the hell with you? And he hung up on me. which was very, very strange because I called him exactly an hour later. I was just starting to produce shows, and I wrote down the exact minute that I called him, so I called him exactly 60 minutes later. You're the guy who was supposed to call. You never called. The hell with you, and he hung up on me.
I like hearing more now.
Yeah, I mean, he just moved up. All right, Fritzy, a little redemption. Give us some Mick from Rocky. Tell us how the show's going so far.
I think the show's going great. You can't win, Rock. I say you can't win. Catch that chicken, you Italian bastard. It actually hurts my head to do that.
Chicken.
Oh, don't bother with that anymore, would you? Okay, still to come. We get some closure to Week 5 of the Dana Football Night in America Challenge. Are you the guy that was supposed to call me back? The hell with you.
What does the room say, Brock? Is that gray or is that blue?
That's 100% gray.
They're saying gray. I
100%
thought blue when I saw it last night, but now looking at it
TV.
again, I don't think you wear a dark blue suit, teal tie, and pink shirt. I think that's just too much. I think you
Brock,
go.
with your permission, can I call NBC's wardrobe staff and get an official ruling?
Yeah, I would insist on that if you could do that for us. Welcome back to the Box Score. Last call here at the Box Score Bar. Okay, Paulie and Fritzy were upset about the results of the Danette Football Night in America Challenge. Fritzy and he said dark blue. The judges said dark gray. Paulie reached out to the wardrobe department at the NBC studios. What was the final verdict, Paulie?
Well, let me first say this is one of the bigger mistakes I've made in a while by reaching out and doing this. I emailed a high-end executive at NBC, which was my first mistake of something so small. He, of course, said, is this a serious question? Then he gave me the right person to talk to, and I got a hold of the head of all things wardrobe. And so the person gave me the answer, which I'm going to hold for a second. And after this woman gave me the answer, she said, is Dan upset with his suit? I said, no, it has nothing to do with that. I go, she goes, well, let me know, because if Dan's got a problem with anything wardrobe related, he can come to me and I'll take care of it. And I don't think she believed me. I think she thought I was like middlemaning for Dan of something. And so I had the feeling that Dan's going to have a situation when he goes to work this week. That being said, she said the suit was dark gray.
Dark gray, and there it is. You could have laid the seed to have him put in a white suit. However, you didn't. So the leaderboard stands as it is. I am king of the mountain.
Oh, that's good. The lazy graphics guys don't have to make a new leaderboard.
Right.
So now everybody won.
Oh, a shot. A shot.
To be fair, it's not really lazy as much as ineptitude and stupidity.
Yeah, if they're here today.
I mean, lazy is like, that's way down on their list of problems.
Yeah, lazy would mean that they could try and do good work.
Guys who do stats should be able to, like, at least master, like, simple arithmetic, but, you know, what are you going to do?
It's not nice.
You can't get great help all the time.
But at least we have 3 of them.
There's 3 of them, all right. Some of them are probably over at Eisen right now. Okay, let's go with the Mr. Nice Guy. Fritzy, who is on tomorrow?
Browns quarterback Brian Hoyer will join us. We may hear from Buck Showalter.
Ohio residents.
And we'll go from there. Our friend Rich Eisen's going to join us Thursday.
Father of one.
Don't know what we're doing in New York Friday just yet, but Brian Hoyer will definitely be part of things tomorrow.
Very good. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching the Box Score. Set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on Audience Channel 239 right here on DirecTV. You can also catch our podcast available at iTunes or at podcast1.com. Oh, there we are. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!
This was a presentation of DirecTV, exclusive home of the Red Zone channel, the Fantasy Zone, the Dan Patrick Show, 20 years of NFL Sunday Ticket, the Rich Eisen Show, and America's premier source for sports television.